Hello and welcome to Freshman Parent Information Night for the class of 2024. We know that this school year is starting out in a bit of an unusual fashion, and we're sorry that we're not able to meet with you in person, but we wanted to make sure that we still took an opportunity to get out the information you will need in order to have a successful start to the school year for you and your students.
So we are the counseling team for the class of 2024, this year's freshmen. My name is Chris Carrillo, and I'm the counselor for students with last names A through L, and you can see my contact information on the screen.
And I'm Sue Averett, and I'm the counselor for students whose last names begin with M through Z.
So as high school counselors, we support your students in three main areas. Academics, we do course scheduling, four-year plans, general academic support. We partner with teachers and parents. We're also members of special programs like 504s and IEP teams. And then of course, parent and teacher meetings and conferences for when a student's struggling or having trouble in a certain class. And we kind of just need to get everything out there and kind of restart. Social and emotional, we do personal counseling. If we were here in person, students are able to drop by. We have open office hours. But right now, feel free to call us, email us. We could schedule a one-on-one Zoom or even just talk over the phone if that helps. We do referrals for our groups here on campus and also outside resources in the community. College and career support. We do four-year plans. We encourage students to meet college entrance requirements. We encourage that they take rigorous courses like AP and Allen Hancock College courses, not only here on campus, but outside of campus. And that program is called College Now. This offers students pretty much free college courses during their time here at Pioneer. It could be on campus, or it could be a night class, it could be a summer class, and those things will start next year. So ask us later if you have any questions about that. We do help with financial aid and college applications senior year. We do want to mention that we try to guide our counseling program with the standards that are set by the American Association of School Counseling. We focus on a lot of different areas. So we do have a Canvas classroom where we'll put presentations and lessons that we would usually do in the classroom in large groups. We're going to keep working with teachers, parents, and school staff. But just like your students check on their math Canvas class, the counselors also have one, and we'll be posting important information there.
Okay, on this slide, we're going to show you the requirements for high school graduation, as well as the requirements for entrance into a California public university straight out of high school. All students on diploma track will be required to meet the district graduation requirements. And in order to earn a high school diploma, your student will need to take the following: 3 years of history, 4 years of English, 2 years of math, including completing Algebra 1, 2 years of science, 1 year of either a fine art, international language, or career technical class, a health class, 2 years of physical education, and then 75 credits of electives, all totaling 220 credits. And a high school diploma allows your student to join the armed forces, attend a community college, or a technical school right out of high school. If your student wants to attend a four-year university straight out of high school, they're going to need to meet what are called the A through G requirements. And these are these over here. So some of them are the same. English, they'll need to take 4 years. History, they'll take 2 years. So they'll cover those while they complete their high school diploma. In math, though, you can see they not only need to complete Algebra 1, but they need to complete geometry and Algebra 2 as well. They will need to take 2 years of lab sciences, 2 years of a foreign language, has to be the same foreign language, 1 year of a college prep fine art, and 1 year of a college prep electives. And they take those classes in the high school requirements credits. So in order to graduate from high school, students need to pass their classes with a D or better, but in order to go to university, they need a C or better in all of the classes. And your students will need to take some entrance exams. We're actually going to be posting a video on our YouTube channel that kind of goes through these in a little more depth, but we wanted to just go over them. And so you have a basic understanding of why your student would be in the classes that they are. So over here on the right, you'll see just a general ninth grade student schedule. So following along with those district requirements, as well as the A through G requirements, your student will either be in English 1 or English Honors. Unless they're an English language learner, they may be in a class that supports their English language development. All freshmen will be in Physics of the Universe or Ag Science. They will all be in a math class. Most of our freshmen will be in Health, or and then one semester, and then a class called Prod second semester, and that's a class that's an Allen Hancock concurrent course, and that helps your students sort of plan for these 4 years and do some planning for after high school. All freshmen will be in physical education, and all freshmen will either have an elective or a support class in English. Some of our students might have 7 classes. Our band students, our AVID students, and students with a support class may have a 7-period day.
So how can students be successful during this distance learning? Definitely check your school email daily and respond promptly if needed. Also be aware of email etiquette and structure. Keep the subject line short and brief. Make sure your questions are written out clearly and fully in the body of the email, and just proper language. And you know, as you'll be talking to counselors and teachers here at school. Check all classes in Canvas daily for assignments. Keep track of assignments and due dates, and complete all work on time. Check grades in Aries and on Canvas weekly. Email teachers and or counselors for help. Sign up for the Remind app. The counselors have a Remind page or app, and so do some teachers. So check with that according to each class. Check the school website for important dates and information, and try to get involved.
Okay, parents, we want to remind you that you are an important part of your students' team, probably the most important part. Keep in mind that as counselors, Mr. Carrillo and I have a little over 400 students each that we oversee, and teachers have about 200 students that they work with on a daily basis. So we really need you to be on the front line of monitoring your students' progress and alerting us if you see a problem. And whether that's an academic problem, something they're struggling with, or a social emotional problem, we really need you to communicate with us, because chances are, as your student's parent, you're going to be the first one to notice an issue. So some things you can do to help your student are to check grades and attendance in Aries at least weekly. Mr. Carrillo is going to show you how to check Aries. Please check the school website regularly. On that main page, there's going to be a banner running across with constantly updated information, as well as information on contacting teachers or accessing your students' grades. Attend parent information meetings each year. So right now, we realize this is kind of a strange way to do a parent information meeting, and it won't be like this all 4 years. So for sure, every time there's a meeting, we would really love it if you would attend. It just helps us to make sure you're as updated as possible and we're getting that information out to you. We will begin posting all of our information meetings on our website, just in case you aren't able to attend on the nights we hold them. Ask questions about what your student is doing in school and what their goals are. So that's just talking to your student on a regular basis and hearing how they're doing in school, what they think of their classes, and how they think their classes are going to help them meet their goals. And to please just keep an open mind, because sometimes I think that we have ideas about what our goals are for our students, and as students get into high school and they start exploring new areas, you want to be open to hearing what their ideas are about what they plan to do. Encourage your student to advocate for him or herself. So when your student has an issue with a class or a teacher or anything else, we would really like you to encourage them to be the first person to make that contact with their teacher or their counselor, just so they learn how to communicate with us well and to advocate for themselves. And then of course, it is always appropriate for you to follow up with an email or a call to us, because we want you to know that we're open and available to you as well. Communicate with teachers and counselors sort of piggybacks onto that. Always know that you can send your teachers and Mr. Carrillo and I an email. You can give us a call and we'll be happy to help you in any way that we can. We'd like you to be on the lookout for signs that something is wrong with your student. And this can be a variety of things, but if you notice some changes in your students, maybe they're withdrawing, they're sleeping more, there's some unusual activity, something that you haven't noticed before, drops in grades, that's the time to reach out and ask for help and to be communicating with your student and asking if anything's going on. This is a really strange time to be in school and it's not easy on our students. And so definitely during distance learning, but all throughout their 4 years, when you notice that something might be wrong, please communicate with us as well as keep those lines of communication open with your students. Something that's really important is that you keep your contact information updated with the school. So a lot of times during the 4 years, parents will change phone numbers or set up new emails. We need to have that information because without that, we have no way to contact you. We can only contact you based on the information you originally gave us. Another thing that's really important is that on your phones, you have your voicemail set up and it's emptied so that we can leave you messages and that you check it regularly. When we were in the spring trying to contact our students, a lot of times we would call parents or students and there was no voicemail or their voicemails were full and it made it really difficult to get a hold of people. So if you could just keep that open and updated, we would really appreciate it because we want to be able to communicate with you on a regular basis. And then again, sign up for the Remind app. Our Remind app codes are on our school website, and that's just going to be a way for us to, along with other means of communication, get some quick little bits of information out to you.
Okay, here's an example of what you will see when you open up an area screen for your student. So what we're gonna look at first, you can see what their classes are, you can see who their teachers are, and then you go over to their grades. It has it by percentages. Now, if you go to missing assignments, you'll see that some classes have zeros, some have red numbers. What those red numbers mean is that your student is missing some kind of work or a test or a quiz. That could be because he was absent. It could be because he just hasn't turned it in. So it's definitely important to keep track of that because those 2s and 3s can easily turn into 10s and 13s and it goes on. And then students will fall behind quickly. Now, where you see the past 5 days, there are some dashes there. That means this student has good attendance. If there are no marks there, that means your student has attended all his Zoom classes, or if we were here in person, he has attended all 6 periods. If a student misses a class, you will see an A there. If that absence is not excused on the school website or at our attendance office, after a couple days, it turns into a cut. And after a certain amount of cuts, it starts to go against the district attendance policy, and then you will be on truancy watch, where after a certain amount of absences and cuts, a meeting has to be held with an administrator, and then eventually some privileges and things are taken away here on campus.
Okay, so when you click on a specific class on the main Aries webpage, it will take you to specific information about that class. So we clicked on relationship and family, and it brought us to the actual grade book for relationship and family. So over here, you can see all the assignments that have been graded or put in the grade book. And you can see as well the due dates, the date your student completed it, and the due date, okay? Over here are the grades the students received. So a 50 out of 50 on classroom conduct or a 10 out of 10 on information card. But over here, you see a couple of red squares. That means that the student has not turned in those assignments. Those assignments are missing, just like Mr. Carrillo showed you on the other slide, that student had 2 assignments missing. And you can see over here, grading complete, yes. So that means that teacher has submitted the grades for that assignment and that student did not turn in those assignments. So that's just something to kind of be aware of when you're looking around your student's area.
Okay, so here is a look at our Pioneer Valley webpage. So on the top left, you can change the language to anything that will meet your needs here. Here in the middle, if we click here, it's just general information about this semester and distance learning, a message from the principal, how to stay up to date with Remind and Parent Square. Parent Square is a system that's new where that's where we're going to be sending out mass messages, important dates or reminders, things like that. We have a YouTube channel here where the administrators may post videos. I know the counseling team is posting videos, and we have it in English, Spanish, and Mixteco. There's also instructions for logging into email and checking your schedule. If you're having issues with your tablet or logging into Canvas, or maybe you need a new charger, or your tablet is not updating or anything like that, we have a tech hotline here. So you call that number and then whatever extension you need, English, Spanish, or Mixteco. We're gonna come back up here, and on the right side, there's a bully button. During the normal school year, if anything was going on here on campus, you could report an anonymous report. So now with distance learning, there's even more of a chance for some sort of cyberbullying. This could be in your Zoom classroom. This could be on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, whatever kind of platform. If you're being bothered or you're worried about someone who's being bothered, any kind of general report that you want to remain anonymous, you could use it here and it will go to one of our administrators. Student emails can be found here in Office 365. This is the Canvas page for students. If you want to log into Canvas as a parent, here's the page. And all these blue things are, these blue letters are active links, and some of them will help you explain how to log in. So we have student and parent areas. We have the online excused absence form. So if your student's going to miss a day, this is where you would come. And then if you haven't had a chance to fill out a free lunch application, most students were given the paper form, but if that was lost or misplaced, we do have the online one, which actually processes a little bit faster. We have some pictures, a slideshow that shows some of the activities and events on campus. We have latest news, upcoming school events. Usually sports would be here, or upcoming dances, things like that. If we work our way back up, you could go to school staff where you'll find a directory. It will show all school staff email, extensions. If you want to call and leave a voicemail, some staff even have like their own page for their class, and you can find files and documents there needed. So now if we go to, if you were in the YouTube page, you would see that the counselors have a quick little welcome video for this distance learning semester. But then there's some tutorials for students and parents on how to get into Canvas, email, Aries. And then a very important one here is Parent Night. This was a presentation by our principal, Mrs. Herrera, and this was done on August 6th. And of the 3,000, almost 3,000 students that we have here at Pioneer, we would have liked a little bit more attendance and live viewing, but now this video is accessible for anybody to watch. This really gets into detail about the expectations for this semester. It breaks down the scheduling, the grading policy, and then there's a lot of really good questions at the end that she stays online for and answers. So you can kind of run through that video. A lot of good information there. And I think that's it.
Okay. So that's about it for our presentation. At the end of our presentation, we would normally open the floor up to questions from parents. Unfortunately, we're not able to do that. If you have any questions at any time, please feel free to email us, to call us. We're happy to work with you and answer any questions you have. All right. Thank you for taking the time to watch our video.